I love the Italian language. I really do. I find it extremely fun to speak with Italians. However, it's not exactly a language that makes a whole lot of sense sometimes. And if I think about it, all languages have their quirks. I know that spelling words in English can make no sense whatsoever sometimes. The way we spell words like asthma, doubt, kernel. Yeah, I feel bad for foreigners that have to learn English. But anyway, that's not what this is about. I want to complain about the nonsensical aspects of the Italian language. As a general rule of thumb that I sort of picked up from my time living in Italy, it's a good idea to just accept what's going on there and not question things too much, to just enjoy the ride. So I thought I would break down 3 elements of the Italian language that, in my opinion, make no sense whatsoever, and we could have a little laugh about it. I'm really curious what Italians are going to think about all this, because maybe it's just normal to them, but when you translate these things to English, they sound ridiculous. So without further ado, le bestemie. Italians know what's coming here. In most languages, you have 2 tiers, right? You have normal words, and then you have bad words, the words that you don't say around children. And these in Italian are called parolacce. So normal words and bad words. Every language has them. In English, it's words like fuck, shit, damn. And in Italian, they would be words like cazzo, vaffanculo, vai a cagare, fotiti, puttana. This video is so getting demonetized if YouTube figures out what I'm saying in Italian. Anyway, so we have normal words and we have bad words, but there's another level beyond that in Italian that does not exist in other languages as far as I'm aware. This is what makes Italian so great, in my opinion. This new level is called le bestemmie, and that translates to blasphemy, okay? Now, I do not mean to be disrespectful here, okay? And I mean it when I say you really should not use these words around Italians. They will get offended. They're literally the worst things you can say in Italian. I'm not exaggerating. However, okay, and this is the caveat, and this is the reason why I'm talking about this. When you translate them to English, they don't make any sense whatsoever. They don't even really sound that bad. So I'll give you some examples here. I am making this for educational purposes, so Italians, please don't take it the wrong way. You know I love you dearly. These are so bad, in fact, that I'm only going to give you the English translations. And if you want to figure out how to say it in Italian for yourself, you're going to need to look it up online. At your own risk, okay? I'm not taking any responsibility for what you choose to do on the internet. I think there's more than this very short list that I've compiled here, but I'm going to give 3 examples, 3 translations in English. The first and the most common one that I have heard is basically pig god, like a god that is a pig. It's really bad, trust me, it's really bad. Don't try this with Italians. The second example here is in reference to the Virgin Mary. It would be the pig version of the Virgin Mary. And the third example I have to share here is dog god. All right, piacere. So here's a simple one that still kind of melts my brain. When I want to say that I like something, I would say mi piace questa o quella cosa. Mi piace literally means to me it likes. To say you like me, in Italian, you would say something like ti piaccio, which if you literally translated it, it would be something more like to you I like. So essentially, in Italian, to say I like you, you say you like me. And if you want to say you like me, you say I like you. All right, on to number 3. This is like the most ridiculous one, in my opinion. Italians are literally insane when it comes to body parts. To explain why this doesn't make any sense whatsoever, let me give a little bit of context first. In Italian, like other Romance languages or other languages like German, nouns are split into different groups. In this case, masculine and feminine. It can be really random, but there are certain trends across the language. So for example, to say a house in Italian, you'd say una casa, and that ends with an A, and many nouns that end with an A are feminine. An oven in Italian is un forno, and that ends in an O, and many nouns that end in O are masculine. There are exceptions, but trends like this kind of help. It makes it easier to guess, if you will, when you're kind of in doubt. Ultimately, the only way to really know for sure is to just memorize words one by one, but there you have it. So, now that we have that cleared up, let's go back to body parts. One finger in Italian is un dito. Which is pretty simple, right? Masculine, easy. But logically, you would think, okay, one finger is masculine, so maybe 2 fingers would also be masculine, right? If only it were that simple. A lot of body parts in the plural turn to feminine. So 2 fingers is actually due dita, ends with an A. 1 knee, un ginocchio. 2 knees, due ginocchia. So there's one final point to add on these sort of generalizations that we can make about the Italian language. Masculine in the singular ends with an O, and masculine plural ends with an I, usually, and there's exceptions to this. I'm generalizing a lot here. And then for feminine, ends with an A in singular and ends with an E in plural. Now, the reason why it makes it especially confusing with body parts is that singular masculine turns into singular feminine, even though we're talking about multiple body parts here. So again, basically, one finger in English is un dito, one finger masculine in Italian. But two fingers in English is due dita in Italian, which sounds like one feminine finger. It goes from one masculine finger to one feminine finger. When I first stumbled on this, I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on here? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Expressions like I have my fingers crossed, which would be ho le dita incrociate, looks to me like I have my one feminine finger crossed. So anyway, those are 3 things about the Italian language that to this day make no sense whatsoever in my brain. I hope you enjoyed. If this video does well, I can do it again in the future for Italian or for other languages that I speak. French is also nonsensical. This video is sponsored by NordVPN, which is actually one of the many tools that I have in my arsenal for language learning. I've been using NordVPN for over 3 years now, and basically what it does is that it makes it look like your computer is actually somewhere else in the world. And what this can do is it can give you access to different material, for example, on platforms like Netflix or Amazon Prime. And this in turn has given me access to different kinds of shows in different languages that I wouldn't ordinarily have had access to. For that reason alone, I'm a big fan. I'll be honest, even doing simple things like logging into my own bank account in the US from abroad can be sometimes challenging, and having a VPN to make it look like I'm in the US has made those sorts of things easier. I really enjoy using NordVPN, honestly. They make things really simple, and I feel like I cannot ask for more than that. I have it both on my computer and my phone, and it works quickly, it doesn't slow down my internet. NordVPN just recently celebrated their 9th birthday, and to celebrate, they have a special deal going. All you have to do is go to nordvpn.com/nobackuplan and use no backup plan at checkout. I will link to it down below. Thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. And I wanted to mention really quickly that I do have my own language learning course available for those of you that maybe feel a little bit lost in your own language learning journey. I worked really hard on it with Johnny Harris, my friend who is also very passionate about languages and who also creates content here online. I'll link to it down below. Check it out if you're interested. There are also free resources available on my website that I send out with my newsletter that might be of interest, so consider checking that out as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.